Here's another recently extinct animal that you may or may not know existed, the Steller sea cow. This is the Steller sea cow, named after our good friend George Steller, who named a bunch of animals, and he was the first one to technically describe the Steller sea cow. It used to be found in the Bering Sea between Alaska and Russia, which is kind of different than its current relatives, the dugong and the manatee, who typically prefer warmer water. Now, the extinction actually happened a while ago. The species was first described in 1741 and was thought to be extinct by 1768, which is not a very large time period, but the extinction was actually kind of interesting. Now, there's two main cited sources for why the Steller sea cow went extinct. The first one, and the most well-known one, is overhunting by European settlers. Now, people indigenous to the area have been hunting these guys for a while, but not to the same degree that the European settlers did, who used them for everything, including food, oil, and, hides. That's the bitch. Now, the other common cited reason for its extinction was actually due to the overhunting of sea otters, also by European settlers, but that's kind of thought to be as a less direct extinction, because with the hunting of the sea otters, the sea urchin population boomed, and the sea urchins ate kelp, and so did the Steller sea lions. So with a massive increase in sea urchins, they were eating all of the kelp, which dramatically decreased the food sources available for the Steller sea cow. We're not entirely sure which of these two reasons were the main reason. Likely it was a cause of both, but it's stated that either of them was enough to cause the extinction of the whole species, but it's almost definitely both of them working together, and it wasn't just the hunting or just the sea urchins brought on by the hunting of sea otters. However, interestingly enough, it's likely that these guys would have gone extinct anyway due to just them not being suited for the current environment. The population, even before the Europeans settled in the area, was very low and was thought to be estimated around 2,000 or so individuals, which was not a lot. Evidence shows that the Steller sea cow used to be way more populous a long time ago, but it has been very gradually decreasing for a very long time, and was likely on the verge of extinction all on its own. The Steller sea cow apparently used to be very widespread, but even before human activity very much affected the population, the numbers were very gradually decreasing, and it's likely that they would have just gone extinct on their own due to environmental factors. It used to be much more widespread, but just gradually, naturally, they decreased in population to only be found in a couple specific areas in the Bering Sea. The genetic analysis of whatever remains we have shows that the Bering Sea Steller sea cows were quite inbred, which is very common for the kind of last dregs of a population slowly going extinct. It was also found with the remains of the last woolly mammoth population that was left, only regulated to a small island where they were hella inbred, and this is kind of the same thing. They were only in a small part of the Bering Sea because that's the only part that could support them, and so they couldn't really move anywhere, they couldn't spread, and it could only sustain a small population, which in turn was heavily inbred. Overall, this is a very interesting extinction because the last final push to cause them to go extinct was human involved, the hunting of the individuals as well as the indirect hunting of the sea otters. That was the final thing that caused them to go extinct. However, their population was already bare bones by the time humans influenced them. So it's likely, whether or not with or without human intervention, these guys probably would have gone extinct anyway, unless that said intervention was to, conserve the population, which in that time period was not going to happen. While we can technically blame humans for the final extinction of the Steller sea cow, it wasn't actually us that caused the main decline of the population, which doesn't happen that often.